All right, you guys, we are back on SportsManRadio. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and we are now joined by running back from Stanford University, Barry Sanders Jr. Barry, how's it going, man?
Oh, good, man. Good.
Yeah, so now, I know you haven't played football at Stanford just yet, but can you tell me about your whole football experience from when you first began to where you're at now?
Oh, yeah. I started playing back in second grade. I started at tackle football. It wasn't until seventh grade where I starting. I was always, second, third string. I always played up in sports. I think that had a lot to do with it. And so yeah, all the older kids are always faster and then a little stronger, So, but no, I've always enjoyed football. It wasn't until seventh grade I started playing running back. In fact, my sixth grade year I played fullback, and that was really the first time I was really in the backfield. But yeah, then high school got here, and the rest is history, man.
You're the son of the great running back Barry Sanders Sr. What was his reaction when he seen you playing in the backfield for the first time? Do you know?
No, I mean, I remember him coming to some of the games, and I think, like I said, at that age, I wasn't really, playing a whole lot until I got to seventh grade. I think when I got to seventh, he really started to kind of pay attention, to what I could become. I had some, pretty good games, and I tried to emulate him in some aspects of the game, and still try to do so. But no, he's proud like any other father, and he just wished me the best.
How much would you say he impacted? How much impact would you say he has had throughout the all the decisions you have made throughout your football career you have so far?
As far as football-wise, I wouldn't say too big. Everyone knows he went to Oklahoma State, and people would love to see me. At least Oklahoma State fans would love to see me, follow in his footsteps, and that's just something that I didn't feel was necessary. He had his opportunities, and I had mine, and I'm gonna make the best of mine, and try to make the best of it.
Last question about your father, and that's what do you say to yourself when you look back and look at the history he has done and all the awards your father has won?
I think it's unbelievable. Like when people ask me, do I think I can be as good as him? I don't think stat-wise it'll be possible. I think it's very, very unlikely. So I just go out every day and try to make myself better and do what I can.
Yeah, your father, I look back at the highlights of him, and he was just unbelievable, just seeing him run with the football.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Barry, on January 7th, 2012, during the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, Sanders announced that you committed to playing football at Stanford University. You had 4 choices, and those choices were Alabama, Florida State, Oklahoma State, and Stanford. What made you pick Stanford over those 3 schools?
That's a good question, but I had taken multiple visits to each of those schools, and I just felt the best vibe. Out in Palo Alto, the place I was very comfortable with. I felt like what they did complemented my talents, extremely, and I can't wait to get in and get acquainted with the system and just go out there and try to do what all D1 athletes try to do, and that's to prepare for a national championship.
All right, and many people want to know why not Oklahoma State. As we said earlier, your father Barry Sanders went there and played very well, winning the Heisman Trophy in 1988. Were one of those reasons you didn't pick Oklahoma State was because you pretty much wanted to expand the last name of Sanders and show that it wouldn't just be success at Oklahoma State, that it'll be at Stanford University also?
That had something to do with it, but it was a lot of different factors that went in. Looking at the roster alone, I think that 4 or 5 running backs already there. Some already highly ranked guys. So going into it, I probably wouldn't have made as big of an impact as I could, at Stanford at a younger age. No, I mean, I'm very familiar with, the Oklahoma State program. I know what their system, is all about as far as, offense. And, I felt that Stanford had a better way of, showcasing what I like to do. And that's probably the main thing.
How was it to have the honor of playing in the Army All-American game last season, Barry?
Oh, it was cool, man. It's something that I didn't even think I would have a chance to do until, I would go to the FBU camp, and, I just kept moving up, I guess, in the rankings, and, I had some people, tell me that, it was a possibility, and, they'll look at the tape, and, it just kind of happened. So, I'm glad that, the hard work paid off. And, it was good to be out there with those guys, meet new guys that I'm sure I'll play against with one of these days. And, it was just a good overall experience.
And how different was the atmosphere in that game than any other regular high school games?
Oh, it was big. Being out there pregame was something special. Seeing, all the Army guys out there and, the family and friends and everybody. And, just the stadium itself. I mean, that's the first time I played in a multi-thousand seat stadium. And so I know that won't be the last. But that was a good first impression.
All right, and what do you think will be the biggest adjustment you'll have to make from high school football to college football?
For sure the speed. I think that we all know that the college level is a total different speed in high school and pass blocking. That's something that I'll have to pay a lot of attention to, but those are probably the main two things.
You would say it's your dream to play in the NFL, right, Barry?
Yeah.
All right, and can you tell us what NFL team you would like to play for if you had a choice and why?
I'm a big fan of what Belichick does out there in New England. I just love that whole organization. And Wes Welker, him being there and graduating from the high school that I'm graduating from, keeps me close and watching those guys. But I'm just a big fan of the Patriots and what they do year in and year out.
Do you feel that the Patriots should run the ball a little bit more, as yourself being a running back?
I mean, they've never had just a superstar running back, though. I mean, they've had some guys that that were role players, but I think if you give a Tom Brady, Adrian Peterson, I mean that's an unstoppable offense right there.
All right, and Barry, last and final question: is there anything specific that you can tell us that we could expect to see from you this season as you play for the Stanford Cardinals?
Well, this season, I don't know if there's too much. I'll be expecting. I'm going to go in, very, very deep in the depth chart. I know, I'll be able to work my way up based on how the summer goes. But no, I mean, I'm looking forward to, making an impact anywhere I can. Offensively, special team wise. But no, I'm just going to be ready when my time comes, man. Whenever that is.
I hear you on that one. Is there anything you'd like to plug on air for our listeners?
Oh no, I think we covered it, man.
Hey, sounds good. Barry, thanks a lot for your time, man. I really appreciate it, and good luck at being at Stanford.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one.